Ever wondered why some men can't stop thinking about you while others seem to move on easily? The secret lies in psychology. Today, I'll reveal the psychological triggers that make men miss you more, whether it's an ex, a crush, or your partner. Stay till the end because point number 7 is a game changer that works like magic. If you love learning about psychology and relationships, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. 1. The power of distance. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. This isn't just a cliché, it's backed by psychology. When you give a man space instead of constantly being available, his mind naturally starts to wander back to you. Why does distance work? Humans tend to appreciate things more when they are not easily accessible. When you're always present, answering every text instantly, or always available for plans, he doesn't get the chance to truly miss you. But when you pull back, without playing games, it triggers a psychological response. He starts wondering where you are, what you're doing, and why he doesn't have your attention like before. The Zeigarnik effect. This psychological principle suggests that people remember unfinished or interrupted experiences more than completed ones. If you suddenly reduce your interactions, he'll feel that sense of incompleteness and keep thinking about you, trying to resolve the situation in his mind. How to apply it correctly. Reduce instant availability. Don't respond immediately to messages or always initiate conversations. Give him time to reach out. Be busy, genuinely. Focus on your own life, hobbies, and goals. When he sees you thriving without him, he'll crave your presence. Create moments of silence. If you're always talking, there's no room for him to wonder about you. Let pauses in communication make him curious. What happens next? When he starts missing you, he will initiate more conversations. Pay closer attention to your actions. Feel a renewed sense of attraction. By using the power of distance wisely, you create the perfect environment for a man to miss you and value your presence even more. 2. Emotional imprint effect. Men remember feelings, not just moments. A powerful way to make a man miss you is by leaving a deep emotional imprint on him. People don't just miss someone, they miss the emotions that person made them feel. Why does this work? Our brains are wired to associate people with emotions. If your presence is linked to happiness, excitement, comfort, or even a sense of adventure, he will crave those feelings when you're not around. Even if he doesn't consciously realize it, his subconscious will remind him of you when he experiences similar emotions elsewhere. How to leave an emotional imprint. Create unique experiences together. Instead of just casual conversations, create memorable moments. Take him to a place he's never been, introduce him to a new hobby, or share a deep and meaningful conversation. These experiences become mental bookmarks that bring you back to his mind later. Use the power of scent and music. Scent is one of the strongest triggers of memory. Wearing a signature perfume or using a particular scented lotion can make him associate that fragrance with you. Similarly, if you often listen to a particular song together, hearing it again will remind him of you instantly. Be the source of positive energy. If you always bring stress, complaints, or negativity into the conversation, he will associate you with those emotions. Instead, focus on uplifting conversations, laughter, and support. When he feels good around you, he will naturally miss that feeling when you're gone. What happens next? When a strong emotional imprint is left, he will find himself reminiscing about your moments together. Feel an emotional void when you're not there. Associate you with happiness and warmth. By making sure he connects your presence with positive and deep emotions, you'll become unforgettable in his mind. 3. The scarcity principle. What's rare is valuable. This is a fundamental rule of psychology and economics. When something is always available, people take it for granted. But when it's limited or hard to get, its perceived value skyrockets. Why does scarcity make a man miss you? Men are wired to chase and desire what they can't easily have. If you're always available, constantly texting, calling, and saying yes to every plan, he won't feel the need to earn your attention. But if you make your time a little scarce, he'll start craving it more. How to use scarcity without playing games. Don't overinvest too soon. Avoid being the one who always reaches out first or makes all the effort. Give him space to take the initiative. When he realizes your attention isn't guaranteed, he'll work harder to keep it. Be busy with your own life. A woman with a fulfilling life is naturally attractive. When you're focused on your career, hobbies, and personal growth, he sees that your world doesn't revolve around him, and that's intriguing. Limit your availability strategically. Instead of replying instantly or always being ready to hang out, occasionally take longer to respond or politely decline plans. When he notices he doesn't have full access to you, he'll start valuing every moment he gets. What happens next? When you apply the scarcity principle, he will start initiating more conversations. Feel a sense of urgency to secure your attention. Appreciate your time and presence more. By making yourself slightly less available, without pushing him away completely, you create a sense of longing that keeps you on his mind. 4. Unfinished business syndrome, the Zeigarnik effect. People can't stop thinking about things left incomplete. This psychological principle, known as the Zeigarnik effect, states that humans remember unfinished or interrupted tasks more than completed ones. When applied to relationships, it means a man is more likely to miss you if there's a sense of unfinished business between you. Why does this work? The brain doesn't like loose ends. If your last conversation or interaction wasn't fully resolved, whether it was an interesting debate, an emotional moment, or a story left halfway, his mind will keep replaying it, trying to complete the puzzle. This naturally makes him think about you more. How to use the Zeigarnik effect to your advantage. End conversations on a cliffhanger. Instead of finishing a conversation completely, leave a little mystery. For example, I have something really interesting to tell you, but I'll save it for later. Guess what happened today? I'll tell you next time we talk. There's something I've been thinking about, but I'm curious what you think first. This keeps him intrigued and makes him eager to reconnect. Cut an interaction short when it's going well. If you're having a great chat or date, don't stay until things get dull. Leave while the energy is still high, making him want more. This way, he'll feel like your time together wasn't enough, and he'll crave another opportunity. Create emotional incompleteness. If you were in a relationship or dating casually, leaving things slightly unresolved, without unnecessary drama, can make him dwell on what could have been. If you disappear completely without closure, his brain will keep searching for answers, leading to a stronger sense of missing you. What happens next? When you apply the unfinished business syndrome, he will keep thinking about your last interaction. Feel an urge to reach out to complete the story. Associate you with excitement and anticipation. By mastering the art of leaving things incomplete, you create a powerful psychological trigger that makes him miss you naturally. 5. The law of contrast. You don't appreciate warmth until you've felt the cold. This psychological principle suggests that people value something more when they experience its absence. When you subtly shift between being affectionate and a little distant, you create a contrast that makes him feel the difference, making him miss you even more. Why does this work? The human brain processes experiences in relation to previous ones. If you are always warm, kind, and available, he may start to take that for granted. But if you occasionally pull back, not in a manipulative way but just enough to create contrast, he'll feel the shift and start craving your presence again. How to use the law of contrast to your advantage. Give more. Then pull back slightly. For a period, be extra present, engaging in deeper conversations, sending sweet messages, or spending quality time together. Then, gradually scale back your attention. He will notice the difference and start missing the warmth you provided. Surprise him with unexpected absence. If you usually text first in the morning, skip a day. If you always say good night, let him wonder where you are. This small change creates contrast, making him realize how much he enjoys your presence. Create a push-pull dynamic. Sometimes, be fully engaged and affectionate, then the next time, be slightly less available. Not in a harsh way, just enough for him to notice. This subtle shift keeps the emotional energy alive and prevents complacency. What happens next? When you apply the law of contrast, he will notice when you're not around and start missing you. Feel the need to put in effort to regain your attention. Appreciate you more because he sees what life is like without you. By balancing presence and absence, you create a natural longing that makes him value every moment he has with you. 6. The power of dopamine triggers. People crave what gives them pleasure. Dopamine is the brain's feel-good chemical, released when we experience excitement, anticipation, or reward. When a man associates you with dopamine rushes, he will subconsciously crave your presence, because you make him feel alive. Why does this work? Dopamine is responsible for motivation and addiction. It's why people get hooked on social media, video games, or even certain people, because their brain wants more of the good feelings they provide. If you trigger his dopamine levels, he won't just think about you. He'll feel a strong urge to be around you. How to activate dopamine and make him miss you. Be spontaneous and unpredictable. Routine is boring. If he knows exactly what to expect from you, there's no dopamine rush. Instead, keep things exciting. Send an unexpected voice note, share a funny meme, or suggest a spontaneous adventure. Use playful teasing and banter. Light teasing creates excitement and unpredictability. For example, "You miss me already, don't you? Admit it. If you're lucky, I might let you take me for coffee this week." This playful energy keeps him engaged and makes interactions more memorable. Make him work for your attention. When something is easy to get, dopamine levels drop. But when there's a little challenge involved, the reward feels greater. For example, instead of always being available, let him wait a bit before responding, or let him be the one to initiate plans sometimes. This creates anticipation, one of the strongest dopamine triggers. What happens next? When you activate his dopamine response, he will feel excited every time he interacts with you. Start craving your attention without even realizing it. Miss the energy and unpredictability you bring into his life. By creating excitement and anticipation, you make yourself irreplaceable in his mind. 7. The emotional imprint effect. People don't miss what you said, they miss how you made them feel. This psychological phenomenon explains why some people stay in our minds long after they're gone. If you create deep emotional experiences with a man, he won't just think about you, he'll feel your absence. Why does this work? The human brain holds on to emotional memories much longer than logical ones. If he associates you with intense emotions, laughter, passion, comfort, or even meaningful conversations, your presence becomes unforgettable. How to leave an emotional imprint that makes him miss you. Create unique moments together. Instead of having generic small talk, build memorable experiences. It could be a deep late-night conversation, an inside joke, or a shared adventure. The more unique the memory, the more he'll think about you. Make him feel seen and understood. Most people crave genuine connection. When you listen deeply, remember little details, and show real interest in his thoughts and dreams, he'll feel a bond with you that's rare, and he won't want to lose it. Use emotional contrast. Just like the law of contrast works with presence and absence, emotional contrast makes moments stand out. If your time together includes both laughter and vulnerability, fun and depth, he'll remember how you made him feel, not just what you did. What happens next? When you create an emotional imprint, he will think about you in quiet moments. Compare every other interaction to the ones he had with you. Feel a deep emotional connection even when you're not around. This is why some people stay in our hearts forever, because the emotions they gave us are impossible to replace. Final thoughts. Making him miss you the right way. If you want a man to truly miss you, focus on psychological attraction, not just physical presence. By applying these principles. Heavy checkmark scarcity. Make your time valuable. Heavy checkmark unfinished business. Leave him wanting more. Law of contrast. Let him feel your absence. Dopamine triggers. Keep excitement alive. Emotional imprint. Be unforgettable. He won't just miss you, he'll crave you. And if you play your cards right, he'll be the one chasing you. Don't forget to subscribe. If you loved these psychology secrets, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Let me know in the comments, which of these tactics have worked for you? Smiling face with smiling eyes.